Spider-Man 2 is easily one of the most anticipated games in the world right now, and just the other day, we finally got a piece of official news. Despite being confirmed for a 2023 release, Sony and Insomniac Games have been incredibly quiet about the state of Spider-Man 2 and when we can expect to get our hands on it. Following the release of the reveal trailer over a year ago, the news cycle has been incredibly scarce for this upcoming open world superhero game. However, as the unexpected release window draws closer, rumors are starting to fly and certain things have begun to leak. In addition to all of the unofficial news that has come out recently about Spider-Man 2, we actually got our very first piece of news very recently, and yes, it actually came from Sony and Insomniac. Following the lack of Spider-Man 2 at the Game Awards, a lot of people were worried that the project had been quietly delayed, but it seems like things are finally turning around and we're likely going to get a ton of new information about it very soon. So get settled in, because in this video, we're going to go over the news and see how it connects to other things that have recently leaked. Hopefully by the end of this, we can narrow down the possible release windows for the long awaited sequel, because I don't know about you guys, this is going to be a day one purchase for me. So drop a like and make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, and let's get into it. So despite being announced in September of 2021, after months worth of speculation, rumors, Insomniac and Sony remained very quiet about the status of Spider-Man 2, likely due to the development cycle being more demanding than expected. The global situation really threw game development for a loop, so both companies avoided putting a specific release date on the game following its announcement last year. But a major milestone has been finally reached. In the second week of December 2022, the PlayStation Network store for Spider-Man 2 finally went live, allowing players to put it on their wish list, and pre-order button is expected to activate very soon. The store page is very bare bones right now, likely in an attempt to keep details as scarce as possible until a new trailer comes out. All that was there was a black background with the white Spider-Man logo and a couple of general details. The release date was simply 2023, which really doesn't tell us anything specific, but it does mean the developers are starting to get everything ready for the official launch. Interesting enough, the store page was taken down a little while after going live, suggesting that it wasn't actually supposed to go public just yet, which is always extra awkward. It was just a few days before this, one of the developers started teasing new details on social media, but didn't give any specific dates or times. I don't think it's a coincidence at all that the store page just accidentally went live just a few days after the developers started breaking their vows of silence. To me, this is really starting to look like a new trailer is going to come out in the very near future, likely within the next couple of months. Heck, I wouldn't even be surprised if a new trailer ends up coming out before end of holiday season. In fact, that may actually be a good idea for Sony, since it would be an extra way to get people trying to buy PS5s for the holiday season. If there is some official confirmation that Spider-Man 2 is indeed coming next year, and the trailer shows off how awesome the gameplay is, you can basically put money on a massive spike in PS5 sales, especially considering how close we are to the holidays. It didn't take long for people to start putting together the dots. Sony has been really putting a lot of money into the Spider-Man IP on the big screen, and it makes sense that they would want to juice the hype of Spider-Man 2 with the other projects. It's currently believed that Sony is going to reveal a ton of Spider-Man trailers throughout December, and it's also confirmed that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is going to release a new trailer on December 13th, mere days before Sony is expected to release updates and trailers on more things like Madam Web, Venom 3, Kraven the Hunter, and whatever is being done with the next Tom Holland Spider-Man. There are even rumors that an Amazing Spider-Man 3 is going to be revealed in the near future, as Spider-Man No Way Home reignited interest in Andrew Garfield's version of Peter Parker. There's also a new Spider-Man animated show in development for Disney Plus, and it's very possible that an update on that comes within the next few weeks. With the timing of this store page going live just days before a bunch of other Spider-Man news is expected to come out, it's all very suspicious, and it's starting to look like Sony is going to keep the Spidey hype train going with a new trailer for Spider-Man 2. Given that the game is exclusive to the PlayStation 5, Sony makes money no matter what here. You need to purchase a PS5 to play Spider-Man 2, and Sony makes money on both the purchase of the machine and the game itself. With Spider-Man hype about to spike like crazy, with all of the movie and TV show trailers expected to come out within the next few days, it makes sense that Insomniac quietly started messing with Spider-Man 2 store page and then accidentally made it live for a brief time. Lucky for them, they took precautions and removed all unconfirmed information from the store page before it was accidentally made live. But the fact that all of this happened the day before a new Spider-Verse trailer was set to come out is very suspicious. Personally, I don't know if Sony would want to reveal both trailers on the same day, but then again, there are a ton of rumors that Insomniac's version of Spider-Man is actually going to be making an appearance in Across the Spider-Verse, which would mean it would be a great time to release a new game trailer and activate the pre-order button on everybody's PlayStation 5. As it stands right now, Spider-Man 2 is expected to launch next year, and Insomniac Games have made it clear a number of times. Over the last few months, a ton of little bits and pieces of news for Spider-Man 2 have leaked, including possible assets of a multiplayer mode that were included in the game files of the first game's PC port. When digging into the game files of Spider-Man Remastered on the PC, you can actually find references of a PvP mode that seemed to be some kind of a horde mode, where one player controlled Peter and one controlled Miles, and you duked it out in an attempt attempt to become the superior Spider-Man, which is a nice little reference to an arc in the comics. Call me crazy, but I think that was actually done on purpose. Modern game developers are very aware of the fact that anything left on the game code is going to be found sooner or later. So the fact that the leftover assets from a scrapped multiplayer mode were left in the PC port of the game seems very suspicious when you consider how secretive the team have been about the sequel's development. Spider-Man 2 has gotten hardly any news throughout the last year other than cryptic tweets and very specific leaks. I honestly wouldn't have any problem believing that Insomniac left the multiplayer assets in Spider-Man Remastered's game code as a way to hype up the sequel and its currently unconfirmed multiplayer mode. I mean, both Miles and Peter are going to be playable in the sequel, so it makes total sense for there to be some kind of PvP or co-op mode where both Peter and Miles are on the field at the same time. Assuming I'm right about that, I think all of this has been intentional from the start. Insomniac reveals the game in September of 2021 and then goes completely radio silent for over a year, but every few months something new leaks or accidentally gets out, and now that Sony is about to announce a whole bunch of new projects for Spider-Man, it's confirmed that Insomniac is preparing the PSN store for business. That can't be an accident, especially since it's just a few months after the multiplayer mode leak that, like I said, was found in the first game's game files. There's also been a number of leaks suggesting that the Insomniac version of Spider-Man is going to make an appearance in the Across the Spider-Verse, which would basically turn all of the movie's hype into the game's hype as well, as people flock to buy the first game and pre-order the second one so they can experience the story. By all accounts, the 2018 version of Spider-Man was a fantastic game, and a lot of people would consider it to be one of the best superhero games ever made. With Spider-Man fever at an all-time high thanks to the success of No Way Home last year, I think Sony is going to do their best to capitalize on the character's popularity in every way that they can, and now that the PS5 is more readily available than it has been the last couple of years, it's about time we get news on Spider-Man 2. So when is the trailer coming out? Well, there are a couple theories are suggesting that the trailer will drop December 13th, when Across the Spider-Verse confirms that this version of Peter exists within the movie's multiverse. There are also theories suggesting that the trailer is going to drop this weekend after an announcement of Spider-Man 4 for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Across the Spider-Verse is expected to tie in with the MCU into Sony's animated Spider-Verse, which would obviously blow everything up even further, so it would make sense that Spider-Man 2 would get a new trailer around this time as well, since that would effectively make Insomniac Spider-Man games canon to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And given the lack of good MCU games, this could really be a smart move if the marketing team can capitalize. At the end of the day, I'm expecting a new trailer for Spider-Man 2 to be released within the next few weeks, and I'm 90% sure it will happen before Christmas. Spider-Man 4 may be a little too far off in the future for Sony to try to use that as hype for the game, but with Across the Spider-Verse allegedly getting a new trailer on the 13th, and with Insomniac Games doing their work on the store page, I'm expecting a new trailer for the game to come out before Christmas Eve. You can come back to this video and let me know if we were right or wrong, but that's our prediction. New trailer by Christmas, or even better, new trailer tomorrow? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Thanks for watching. This has been Wes, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.